The Bible says thou shalt not kill.
Yes. Amen. Amen. I agree with you, brother.
Well, it seems that we have dueling protests going on right now. There's an individual, I guess he's a street preacher. He's preaching the gospel, and people here for the George Floyd protest, they don't care to hear what he's having to say right now, so hopefully this will be resolved peacefully. David Menzies for Rebel News here in Toronto. Well, I'm at Queen's Park, which is a site for a protest about racial injustice. This is, of course, in light of the George Floyd murder in Minneapolis several days ago. The good thing about the protests, I think, in Toronto has been they've attracted hundreds, sometimes thousands of people, and so far no violence. However, the same cannot be said about so many American cities where protesters and demonstrators have become thugs and vandals and even murderers themselves. There's been carnage, even carnage against mom and pop black-owned businesses. I don't know how that advances the cause of social justice or justice, period. Maybe we can get some perspective about that from some of the people who are protesting here today in Toronto. Hey guys. How you doing there? Just wondering what it is that brings you out here today, sir?
Just trying to fight for injustice, sir.
Now, if there is indeed injustice, what is the way of, getting justice back into the system?
Education, just teaching, talking to the people, and just making sure that, we can actually have a conversation, between me and you, and everybody else,
Well, we're just here to, join the movement, to make sure that our voices are heard and to ask for more.
And when it comes to any kind of tangible changes, sir, whether it's to the police, the justice system, is there any one thing that you're advocating for?
For me, more funding for education in areas that are not getting it, that really need it, even funding throughout all areas.
Do you have any solution to the injustices that allegedly exist in our society right now?
I think being able to face it from a systematic standpoint, and maybe just change some of the laws that can help benefit everyone.
And I think what's been so heartening the last couple of days, there's been thousands of people demonstrating in the streets of Toronto. We haven't had any violence, thank goodness, but what do you make of the situation in many U.S. cities, sir, where people are going into even black communities, burning down mom and pop businesses, black-owned businesses to the ground? I'm just wondering, how does that bring about any kind of justice or social justice?
Well, you got to understand that most of the things that are in America we don't own. So that's why looting is there, right? It's not the fact that they want to burn down buildings that they own, but some people don't understand that we don't own anything. There's nothing that we have that's equity for our own. So us burning it down is burning down America in a sense, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't understand that, so.
What about yourself, sir? Is it maybe other groups that are taking advantage of a situation to carry out acts of vandalism and violence?
Yeah, there's going to be groups like that, but that's not our focus here. Our focus here is on the people who actually want to make change. There's going to be anomalies. There's going to be people who want to do their own thing. They take advantage. We can't attest to that, just like how you can't attest to how your son acts at school. He acts how he acts. You discipline him when you get the chance.
And sir, what one change to anything about the system, whether it's the policing, whether it's the courts, that you would like to see change so that, I guess, there's more equality afoot?
Like I said, we need to have a narrative, right?
Accountability.
Oh, definitely. Accountability and a narrative, an open mind. We can't have people who are closed-minded running a system that's supposed to be for the people. It doesn't make any sense.
Just justice, equal rights, and this George Floyd thing is very deep to me, right? And we're just tired of a lot of the nonsense that's going on, and that's basically what brought me out today.
Have you ever, you said it was very deep to you what happened to Mr. Floyd. Have you ever had a personal experience yourself, sir?
Oh yeah, many times. But I also have friends that are police too, so.
I come from Bosnia. I'm an immigrant here, a refugee. I was a refugee at one point, and comes a point where peaceful protests are not enough. Comes a point where people are desperate enough to risk their lives. A lot of these people that are looting, they're there to make some money. They're left desperate by the governments who have not come up with solutions to make their lives reasonably effective without the looting. So they're left with no choice but to go out there and just go crazy. And a lot of youth are frustrated, and I feel like the key is to go out and protest. The key is to make a statement, to make these people wake up and show them that we are a real threat. They're here for us, and if they don't serve us like they're supposed to, there's going to be ramifications, and that's exactly what's happening around the world.
But isn't it just more innocent people getting victimized? I mean, I think of a couple just putting their life savings into a business, just barely scraping by. They didn't do anything wrong. Why target innocent shopkeepers like that? Yeah,
so my mother owns a shop in Mississauga. I'm a business owner. I understand the frustration of business owners, but at the end of the day, it's the people that decide where the agenda goes, and once the government pushes them far enough, they will do stupid things like loot, like destroy their own, because they're frustrated. It's like cornering an animal and expecting it to not attack once it's so cornered that it has nowhere to go.
Oh my goodness. I met you guys at the Antifa light. No, ma'am, surely your boyfriend, he's not holding a Che Guevara flag, is he?
Yes, he is.
Oh, my goodness. Was Che Guevara a great man?
Proud and up front.
Yes? Really?
Yeah.
He wasn't a terrorist or anything like that?
No. He's
Sir,
for the people. We're for the people.
And sir, we met a couple of days ago. You don't have your welding mask on, but what makes you a Che Guevara fan?
I'm going to decline the interview today. Thank you very much.
I had so many questions about Che Guevara.
You can have all the questions of the world, but not today.
Is that one of the solutions you have? And by the way, I do support the idea of having interactions with police filmed. Do you think that might go a long way in terms, well, it certainly gets rid of the he said, she said when there is an altercation, but why are you advocating cameras on cops?
Well, the argument against it is, that the front-facing camera doesn't get the whole picture, right? But no camera doesn't get any picture. So something is better than nothing.
And I think maybe the proof is in the pudding. If the George Floyd incident hadn't been caught on somebody's camera, maybe the narrative would have been different. Maybe it would be, he was acting up violently and something happened. So what do you think it will take for getting cameras on all police going forward?
I mean, it's a big investment, right? But the police already has a huge amount of money in their budget, and we need to be monitoring tightly where that money is going, and instead of wasting on things that are not effective, to invest it in things that are. And I mean, one solution to solve the problem of having a front-facing camera that only gets what's in front is to get a fisheye lens, which gets 180. So you got a pretty big angle, right?
I'd like to say that this is a message to all politicians in North America and Europe that they should renounce the policies that divide us.
What policies are those, sir, exactly?
I don't think I don't think I need to explain. I think we all know what the policies are.
Well, folks, like my other Rebel News colleagues, Sheila Gunn-Reid and Kian Bexley, I love getting out into the field to cover things like, the mass protests that have been occurring lately. But sometimes people take advantage of our presence there by physically assaulting us. Well, we can't have that, so sometimes we have to hire security for our own personal safety. That's why if you can please visit journalistdefensefund.com, that's journalistdefensefund.com, make a donation so that we can pay security guards in volatile situations so that our personal safety is maintained in order to continue bringing you the other side of the story.